Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Venerables. My name is Jill Moniz. I am a curator in Los Angeles, and it is my honor to be asked to curate, a whole year of programming for the renaming of the Venerable House. And I decided that we needed some action. We've done a whole lot of talking, and so tonight you're going to get to see Parable of Pathmakers by SiriusShapeShifters, and afterward we'll have a conversation about what you see and experience tonight. So thank you for coming and enjoy the show.
That see beyond just this. We are the visionaries. have enough sense to envision, to go inward, and also to look outward. When I'm running, I hear the trees. I hear my interaction with the pavement in a different way. So I'm flowing and I'm gliding through spirit. When I'm swimming, I hear the water. And people think, oh, like, okay, you're hearing the swishing sounds. No, the water is speaking. The water is speaking.
The water is speaking. The water is speaking. The water is speaking.
The water is speaking.
I am the water speaking. I am the water greeting. I am the water saying, what up, y'all? I said, what up, y'all?
Given us the music ability is not by happenstance or chance, it's for purpose. And that's why the song says to shine. It's time for us to shine like the beautiful stars that we are, and let the world see who we really are. It's in our arms. Who we are is in our arms. Our music, our dance, our ability to do all of the things that we can do with our bodies. The sound. The sound. Can you do what you say? What can you do? With before me singing, and all I can think
I realized I was forgetting my stories. 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 I realized I was forgetting my stories.
That is literally true. I know how now.
And I can do it for periods of time, and then I have to go back home and hide for a while.
I can create in the eternity of each one of Octavia E. Butler's behind each what informs each is an expansive field of thought.
Let me introduce myself. My name is
When you learn how to vibrate the universal web, known as the quantum field, known as the universal field, known as the akasha, the dark matter, the feminine essence, Big Mama, when you know how to wave back to her with love, right? Pure love, love supreme, everything changes.
Everything changes.
Everything changes.
Everything changes.
Everything changes. Everything changes. Everything changes. Everything changes.
As I was saying, do you want to hear what the quantum field sounds like? Do you want to hear what the quantum field sounds like? Experiment Earth. Welcome in. Quite you is here, yeah. Welcome in. Experiment Earth. Welcome to the symbolization. Experiment Earth. Experiment Earth. Oh, experiment Earth. Oh, welcome. Welcome Experiment Earth. You know what I mean? This side of things. Experiment Earth. Welcome to the symbolization. It was a clear chase. Erase the tapes. Scream, impotent dream, shadow air of October stares to be recognized for more than a fall. Corners we turn like loot, boot trooped, souped up rise, no disguise, closed eyes of disgust. Trust who? Yeah, that. Security code 2000. Y'all know the deal. Play dumb and deaf. We run in the absence of sun to save our lives and build again. Pick up the pace, the chase continues. Streets I, run I, been through, veins of the city, alleyways paved with piss that exist at this time to be the labyrinth, 21st century minotaur, 21st century minotaur. 21st century minotaur actually ain't no threat. Heavy face and heart depart, enthusiasm bleeds and seeds impotent dreams. One thing, one thing I know is nothing to assure them I blend into trails of jazz. Future tense, past solitude, regret. I ain't gonna lie, but I seen joy burning in dull places. Yo, Leroy! Hey, Leroy! Yo, Leroy! Ungravel your voice. Yo. Unfold your tongue. Hey, Leroy! The beginning is just begun. My bad, what'd you say? Huh? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? Ain't we both in the same spot, yo? Oh, you want to know where I'm really at? All right. I'm in the space between waiting and wanting. I'm in the space between waiting and wanting. I'm in the space between. I stood and refused to swallow the sky. Metal tongue stung lungs against edgeless knife. Mama stood instead. It be for her I cried. 1032 laments. 1032 laments. We planted each lock, stocked dread in shelfless rooms. No. Center to the middle, hollow world of tombs. Broom. Sweep pond feet, relief be deep sleep, dead air mocking me who seek no memories of. I'm in the space between waiting and wanting. I'm in the space between. Wait. Days. Days gone long time in silence. Crowded thoughts hide violent incisions. I'm wishing to begin the dance with Papa's gin. The saga contend. Use, win or lose, I choose to father sins of past lives and then begin again. Spin, lend the wind, my voice. Choice maker, get ill, spill my will. Expand until I'm expand until I'm expand until I'm nil. Yo, Leroy. I'm in the space between. Yo, Leroy. Leroy, that's our jaw right there.
Shoot a gang mainly when they go in. Fit about the hood guns, what you want to throw in. Shoot a gang mainly when they go in. Fit about the hood guns, what you want to throw in. From the start, finna post some more in.
1,
We get on a nigga knock like the soul in.
2,
Finna post some more in.
3,
We get on a nigga knock like the soul in.
3,
Finna post some more in. We get on a nigga knock like the soul in.
3,
Finna post some more in.
3.
We get on a nigga knock like the soul in. So in.
That's why I don't talk to you. That's why I've been dating you. I did. Period. Y'all so funny. Look at that. She's so funny. Look at you, 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 honey. Look at you, honey. Look at your homie. 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 Look at your homie.
But you remember the remember the soul is there. Actually alive, but without their mind. He will regain his consciousness someday, but if they carry him past the house where he lives, he will never remember again who he was, or where he lived, or anything. He will just be an animated person.
But she remembered a little. She remembered his soul is there. Actually alive, but without their mind. He will regain his consciousness someday, but if they carry him past the house where he lives, he will never remember again who he was, or where he lived, or anything. He will just be an animated person. And he will never remember again. Of course, they never give him salt. They claim that salt will tend to counteract that, and they will remember who they are. In the course of a ceremony,
the shit now, no boy. Sure, do remember a little snow. Absolutely. Yes, you're knees pianos now. Oh, minute, your horse sit out on that. No, I do not need to end it. Yeah, days. You might as well fire group away in the salad and darkness. Here and on, sip, and I get that. You know, that's what's hooked to me. Oh, you do remember in that guy.
What time is it? I think you know what time it is. It's time to get.
It's like a jungle sometimes.
Let's funk upon a time.
Time to get funky and radical hip as I get to the
second time. It's not quite what it seemed.
No, said it's freedom time now. Time to get free.
No tricks in 86. It's time to build.
Voices. God says it's
Harambe to the sun as the mortals axe time.
Time means nothing to me. You point to the clock and you hope I will see. I don't understand what you mean about time. When you talk about it, it boggles my mind. Time and space can be a lonely place.
But sometimes I get ridiculous.
Because you took it too far and it's time to stop.
I bring forth to you the good time. on the mothership.
The word now is seize the time.
Do you remember the time?
Once upon a time in the projects.
All my time, it could be spent with you.
I used to pray for times like this.
Tick tock, listen to the clock. Tick tock, listen to the clock.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
When was the last time you prayed? You will know it in time.
Kids say go sometime.
Funk upon a time in the days of Vainglorious.
And time after time after time.
Look at them Gucci, it's about that time.
You know, this song is kind of like me. Slow. Y'all don't mind that, do you? He was there just in time.
Time for new flavor in your ear.
What time is it?
It's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
Yeah, and I was wondering if I was going to live to see the next day. So I kept the experience. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I started with. And I wrote all the way through the first chapter and realized I needed something else. There was a lot more that had gone before, but I couldn't just write all that had gone before, as you said, just a straight line story. So I wound up doing it past, present, alternating chapters.
Reclaiming my time. When you're on my time, I can reclaim it.
Experiment Earth. Experiment Earth. Experiment Earth. Experiment Earth. Experiment Earth. Experiment Earth. Welcome to the symbolization, where reality is stranger than fiction, and the truth that hurts is dispersed in the codified inscriptus, unlocked and lifted by means of one key: language. So what's the word? Movement, malleable, meaning, matter, maker. These are flashes from the living diary of Grant D. Venerable. These are flashes from the living diary of Octavia E. Butler. These are flashes from the living diary of Quantum. These are the dark matter messages. Inscription number 7. There are two species, two sentient systems. Those that live on Earth, those that live on air. One incapable of sensual invocation. One a wireless angular substance, one life, purpose, simply to desire experience. One mind is the experience, and the experience is limitless. One reasonably random, one sufficiently chaotic, one an eloquent reflection of determinism, one the sonic fractals of intention, one will is force.
I think I need to write about the dream because
one way is flow, one that activates in the non-existence of time, exclusive of definitions. The singular alternate to this is its ways, it's not thinking at all. These are the dark matter messages. There is no difference between one or the other. There is no difference between one or the other. Experiment Earth.
all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. I'm learning to fly, to levitate myself. No one is teaching me, I'm just learning on my own, little by little, dream lesson by dream lesson. Not a very subtle image, but a persistent one. Without persistence, what remains is an enthusiasm of the moment. Without adaptability, what remains may be channeled into destructive fanaticism. Without positive obsession, there is nothing at all. Earthseed, The Books of the Living, by Lauren Oya Olamina.
Oh, no, my life is moving.
Oh, it gets so lonely when you're walking.
Walked through California.
In the street, temporal, California. In the street, in the street, in the street, temporal, California. In the the car. In the street, in the car. Flip around California in the car. In the street, in the car. Flip around California.
As wind, as water, as fire, as life, God is both creative and destructive, demanding and yielding, sculptor and clay. God is infinite potential. God is change.
Meena Murugesan! Oh boy. Brianna Mims, me as Quantum. Thank you all for coming and diving into this experience. We'll see you all in about 2 minutes, yes?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out on a Thursday night. It is Thursday, isn't it? Thursday night.
Yes, it is.
After an eclipse and before another one, and in Pasadena. So thank you for that. I mean, okay, so I'll be totally honest. I've seen a version of this performance before, and I'm always shocked at how I feel watching you perform. And I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about the inspiration, your relationship to Octavia Butler, and then we can talk maybe about Octavia Butler's relationship to Pasadena.
Well, I've been reading Octavia Butler's work since I was a teenager in Montreal, Canada, in the snow. And then there was a moment, what year was that when radio, Clock Shop Radio there was an anniversary for Octavia Butler's passing. And there was a series of events all over the city. And so we went to one actually at PCC, where Octavia Butler went to school and taught, I believe. And there was an event there, and it was so beautiful. And I remember Sabela was like, "Where's the dance? We wanted to see some dance that was inspired by her writing and her methodologies." And so that was kind of like a spark.
And there have been multiple iterations. Can you tell me, Sabela, a little bit about some of the other iterations of parables?
Sure. So Meena was being really nice. I actually caught an attitude at the PCC event. And I don't know if you all ever had that moment where you're like, man, there's just not enough representation. And in this case, it was like, I feel like everything that I've done as an artist has in some way been informed by Octavia E. Butler's impact. Like literally reading her for the first time when I was undergrad at UCLA and feeling like I got punched in the head. And still like seeing the birds even to this day. And just how certain things were like privileged, like if it's anything around Afrofuturism or sci-fi or speculative fictions, we're gonna find the writers, we're gonna find the filmmakers, and who else? Usually it's the writers and filmmakers, right? Or some sort of visual artist. And as transmedia artists, we're like, we do all that. And she inspires how this body moves. And at the time we were living right up the street in Pasadena, and she inspires how we move through Pasadena. Like, call us goofy, whatever, we just were really like coming up to, two of our kids went to PCC for like 5 minutes. Shout out to PCC. And it's just like, oh wow, this is where she was acquiring knowledge, having things, like thinking about things. This is why I'm obnoxious with the did you hear the Did you hear the And really thinking about how we share space across time and how the landscape of California, not just Pasadena, Altadena, the landscape of California has been transformed through reading the Parable series, and how we approach this year in July 2024, going way back to whatever, late 90s when I first read her work, right? It's like, as I travel the landscape of time to this moment, and just seeing how, you know, for lack of better words, her foresight, just how, and I mean foresight in the way that she can look at what's happening right now and see what's gonna happen in the future, or at least y'all follow me right now? This shit is it's just dope. It's so inspiring. Okay, did I answer your question?
I don't even remember what my question was. But I wanted to say that there is a different kind of knowledge at play, right? With her, and it's a kind of world-building capacity, what I and other Black women call the captive maternal, right? This capacity to hold space. And one of the reasons why I was so interested in connecting you both and this project to this project at Caltech is because when you're world building, it is often prophetic, right? Nobody knows quite what you're doing. And I was thinking about Grant Venerable and thinking about the fact that he was, you know, walking this campus, walking this space, you know, sort of alone in a way, representing a totality of people, and himself and his thoughts and his own ideas of what his future could look like, but holding space all the time, pushing it open, holding it up, keeping it open. And the fact that now in 2023 and 2024, we're here, you know, and recognizing him in that way on this campus against the kind of frontiers that were happening when he was here, against a eugenics movement, against an idea of manifest destiny to the West Coast. You know, he was world building something else that's here now, that Octavia Butler walked in the shadow of and opened up more light for. And so to me, it was a very natural connection to make. And I hope, do you feel that? I don't know, what did you call yourself, goofy? That seems perfectly reasonable to me, but I'm curious if that feels right to you and you.
It definitely feels right. When you gave us the information and we started doing research on Mr. Venerable, it's like, so here we have yet another, and I don't want to say pioneer, right? It's not the connotation, but yet another non-white person that is dreaming themselves into being every microsecond. Dreaming themselves into being. Looking at the spectrum of violence that happens. We've seen how many people would, quote unquote, integrate a school, and just the spectrum of violence, whether it's a snarl, whether it's closing the door on someone, whether it's calling someone something, like all of these things that are endured. And on the flip side of that is, I just imagine him dreaming himself into being, which is another reason why improvisation was really important for this project. We are improvising, so everything that we're doing, we have like a score, we have an outline, and then we improvise within it. I'm sure they gave him a lesson plan. He met with a guidance counselor. And so when we talk about systems of intelligence, I feel like that is a deep structured system of intelligence, navigating a world like that. And the other thing around systems of intelligence, just this body, is another reason we wanted to. So Octavia E. Butler says she wrote herself in. And so she also talks about radio imagination, and that was actually the name of the clock shop. They named it after her, her coining this idea. And then the flip side, I was like, cool, we have kinetic vision. So this body helps me see, not hear. This body helps me see. And there's a system of intelligence that we trust and that we're crazy enough to engage with constantly, because dance doesn't always get to shine the way some other art forms do. You follow me? Y'all feeling me? Thank you.
I think all of the arts, though, really tap into that knowledge system that is not a canonical knowledge or a sort of scholarly knowledge, but it is a deep-rooted, deep generational understanding that's both sort of cosmic, ethereal, but also, rooted, like you said, rooted where you are, where you come from, where you have emerged, where you've walked, where you're going, right? That it is something more than what you can calculate in your head, but it's being open to a language or multiple languages that allow you to move through the world in a completely different way and allow you to survive uninhabitable worlds that don't want you, but yet, this knowledge helps you both survive and hold the door open again and make space and world build and change and bring in the new. That is really old. It's all of those things circling around a kind of meridian that the body is holding steady. And so it's interesting to me to have these discussions in a place like Caltech that by reputation only, I know these things about Caltech, that, it is about science and it is about a particular kind of way of understanding the world. And you're doing something else. I think I live in a different way. And so here we are sort of clashing, but also integrating not in that kind of way, but, like the conjunctures are made real in this work.
And both of these pathmakers, we have a chance to honor tonight as scientists, as deep researchers, right? We've been going to the Huntington Library and just going through these boxes, and it's not like I didn't know, but it's like the research and looking at science and technology. So I feel like we got a chance to kind of put them in conversation I mean, they were already in conversation, but just to kind of uplift just these two different streams of really, really deep and valuable research.
But the thing that always sticks with me about her the most is, I remember Betty Starr and I went to the opening of her papers at Huntington, and there were on display all of these beautiful just sheets of writing where she wrote copious notes to herself about what she wanted. She was literally writing herself in, as you said. And one of the things that she said is, you have to feel. It's about, feeling, that there is no separation between sort of science and feeling, right? That this resonance is so important. And at the end of the day, you have to communicate that. People have to feel and understand that resonance. And, I think that dance and this performance, certainly what I was hoping for, which to me was accomplished very nicely, is that you got us into that space, right? That sort of limbic resonance that you can feel in our bodies, your body, right? And the way that you are world building on this stage. So it was really everything I hoped for to honor both Octavia and Grant Venerable. So I really am grateful to you for that. Do we want any questions? Are we taking questions? Does anybody have questions? Do you want to ask questions? There's someone with a question.
Talk loudly. Oh, okay. I guess I'm curious, as you were finding Octavia and finding Grant Venerable in this story, did you find yourself in this story in any way? Did you situate yourself in the story? Did you connect with it, or did you leave yourself out of it? Curious how you kind of think about that.
Well, I guess one way in was I only recently, we received some of the archives of Mr. Venerable recently, maybe like last week or the week before, yeah. And going through, the photos really struck me. There's an application to make their home a historical building, and I'm not sure if it's gone through yet. Or is it in the works? Okay, great, thank you. I love it. Yeah, someone knows. And so just going through those photos was just really quite beautiful. And also we live very close to there. And so in this way, that Quantum, the character with the character, we shot one image of Quantum in front of the Pasadena Public Library, which is a place that we know Octavia Butler would go. And so we would like to do one also in front of the Budlong house, in front of their house, and just kind of like, it's kind of like these parallel universes, that are coexisting at the same time. And so I think just like living close to both of these places, and there was something like, especially with the Butler archives, there was something that was really like, just still mind boggles me in terms of like this idea of affirmation before affirmations got popular. Like Octavia E. Butler was all about affirmations before they became trendy and popular. And in so many ways, it speaks to this need and this desire and this drive to write oneself in, and I think to dream oneself in. And I think that's like something that I felt very closely.
Yeah, that part. And there's something that we do. Meena creates this archive. So now, and this is a modular piece. We've done this a visual installation in a gallery in Philly and somewhere else. We do proscenium live performance. We've done street in Leimert Park. And we carry the archive with us. And so the improvisational nature of what Meena does is to kind of conjure up. And so it's really beautiful now to have Venerable as part of this bank. So it's not a one and done, right? He's living inside of this project now. And so I would say personally, it's you know, we're holding him close as a result. And we're open to getting to know him. You know, it's like you do research, oh, we got to do this, we got to say these things. We're not going to come up here in front like, oh, we did the research, we know this man, but we are open now to learn more. And this project is a manifestation of that. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you, first of all.
Wait.
We have enough mics over here.
I've got it. Thank you. A lot of passion up there. I mean, artists all, right? I never, I took, when those pictures were up there, I took a breath. I went like that, and then I had to remember to exhale, because what happened for the very first time in my life, you connected my father to art. I never thought of him that way. He was here, mathematician, science, etc. And I grew up with that image, and it was an image which was difficult for me, because I like to think I'm the artist. But nonetheless, I really do thank you for that, because he had to be, that art had to be working in him from Missouri to here, to come here and expect that they're going to let him in a place that they didn't want him. But he continued, what you're saying, and it's Experiment Earth, and that's what he did his whole life. I'm very aware of that now. Everything he touched, it was basically an experiment, because he's always taking it, making it a little better. We'd look at it, what are you doing? Well, he's honing all the time. So you just did something really wonderful for me, and I thank you. Thinking of Venerable as an artist.
Wow.
He definitely, was always making new.
Wow.
And always making space, and that takes a creative. That's what an artist does. Make something out of nothing, or takes the pieces of something and brings it together and turns it into something completely different. It's emergent theory that people, study, scientists study, but it's that thing that happens when it clicks and it becomes something more than the sum of its parts. And that's what he was doing, and that's what artists do. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for that. And this also is, Jill, as a curator and connector and as a visionary, helped make this happen. So thank you very much. Because I'm sure they were like, So, yeah, I received that. I think we received that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing. My people.
Hey.
Hey, sis.
It's the other Jill.
So, I'm really interested in the portal that you guys created, right? So, Quantum created a portal, because I saw the symbols. I saw the vive and other symbols. And so I'm actually very interested in that process. As you said, there is no past, present, or future. And so I felt like, because you created a portal which allowed us to enter into this space, to encounter these energies. And I wasn't even familiar with the other person until you just shared with them. So if you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the overall project is actually called Parable of Portals. And at its core, it's about generating at the center of now and pulling in what we believe to be past futures ancient futures, all of these sort of things, but really like spinning and turning ourselves inside out at its core. Like that's a core intention. And then there's like, we have access points. One access point is joy. Like, how does joy become a portal? And we bring that into, so what you don't see before we come to the stage, like, there's a lot of laughter, a lot of kikiing. I mean, and as a practice, as a creative practice, and it's really important, I'm going to speak directly about some of the symbols. So like I said, there's a lot of different modules for this piece. In an earlier module, we take a speaker box, and we have these plants coming out. Instead of like woofers, we have these plants coming out. And I was going to put the Bakongo symbol on the speaker box. And it just kept, every time I tried to get a homeboy of mine to like airbrush it and paint it, and it just wouldn't line up. It wouldn't line up. And who was I talking to?
It was the writer. She was part of the Grand Park.
Oh, I gotta remember her name. She's Anna B. Scott. So we were just talking about this. Anna B. Scott had a gallery space in Long Beach. And I was late this day. Bree and I were gonna film something with Leroy. Leroy's balloon was like cutting up today. I was just, y'all have no idea. Talking about joy. I was on stage as that balloon was going like this, and I was cracking up. And then I started getting worried, like she gonna run out of air, but sheesh. Okay, I digress. We went to meet with Anna B, and I said, oh, sorry, I'm late. We were trying to get with Sano to do X, Y, and Z. And she said, well, wait a minute, where were you going to put it? And I said, on the side. And she said, well, that's why. The spirit said no, because it's supposed to be on the ground. You're not supposed to flip it this way. So I know, but it's in the air. But we do it on the floor, too. But we look at, that's why I say welcome to the symbolization. Right, this isn't a civilization because are we being civil? Question mark, emoji. But there's so many symbols around us, and we play a lot with the symbols as a portal and as just a technology, to be honest with you. These are technologies, and you know we both have been in Southern Africa. There's so many technologies that our foremothers and fathers tapped into that are mind-blowing. And we just trust them. I'm not religious. You know, the religiosity hasn't scared me away from recognizing them as technologies and then just kind of leaning into them and making myself available to learning more about them. Yeah.
And can you talk just a little bit about the name of your group, SiriusShapeShifters? Because we were talking about that whole issue of the Sirius and its relationship to the Dogon in Africa, who know all about it, even though it's not visible to the human eye, and this idea of a different kind of knowledge again. But can you talk about why you chose that name?
For sure. When I started learning about the Dogon, I was living on the East Coast, and would just go hear people in the sort of like the circuit, the black circuit on the East Coast of people that are really looking at ancient technologies coming out of the continent. And hearing about the Dogon just was like, wait a minute. They could see this star system with the naked eye. Also their creation story. So in the earlier work that we have called Electrogenous, Mims, we just be dragging Mims through all kinds of pieces. We just won't let her go. And another character actually are the Dogon twins. And in this piece, we have the string theory twins. So this twinning idea is part of how we're thinking about. So there is this sort of like admiration and then just deep research around the Dogon and the Sirius star system. And then we kind of consider ourselves shapeshifters. as transmedia artist and as melanated being, and how do you feel about our shape-shifting? As a unit, we're little twins. I should have worn my little outfit today.
We have matching outfits too sometimes. But yeah, shape-shifting, I think, in terms of like the melanin, the different connections between ancient futures, the connections between creation stories, the connections between cycles and mythologies, and shape-shifting to what the circumstance requires and needs, and how we choose to improvise within it.
Yeah, we actually have the Dogon in our bank for electrogenous.
Oh, and this one too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but with the purple ose, there's the image, it's in the background, I just saw it today. I saw the Sirius star in the imagery today. Maybe y'all felt it too.
Any more questions before we let you all go home?
Okay, this is Grant Venerable II speaking. Thank you so much for sharing. I need to ask, do you regard yourselves as shapeshifters? Do you utilize shapeshifter theory? Do you see that as related to Jungian psychology? I'll let you run with that for a few seconds. I got some more after that.
Yeah. I would say that we are borrowing more from the shapeshifters that Octavia Butler presented in her work as a metaphor for the various ways we can contort ourselves as we navigate society.
Yeah.
And the various ways in which we can, as I said earlier about your father, about dream ourselves into being. And what does it mean to take new shape? Yeah. What does it mean to grow inward and outward? What does it mean to expand and contract? So we really think about it dynamically. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I mean, this is going off on a tangent maybe, but I also think of shape-shifting as in a very earth-based way with the elements, and we do talk about the elements a lot in our work, but there are ways that, and practices that we do, and I think our art is part of that in terms of how we shape-shift with the elements as well. You know, like the woman, the sample of the woman saying, I'm not just looking at the water, I am the water, you know? And I think that many of us can tap into those practices as well. And I think art making is one of those practices, but I also think, you know, a certain kind of an energetic practice is part of that as well.
Yeah, and I think lastly, do you want to say anything? Well, you know your people. It's like really helping people reshape or reframe how they think about dance, how they think about music, poetry. It's like I really feel like there is a sort of craftiness to that, a magic to that, a technology to that, much in the way that you might have heard a little Sun Ra, like I recomposed a Sun Ra, how I think of Sun Ra as a shapeshifter, like he's shaping a story and shifting a story about Black folks being from. So there's all these cosmic sort of like relationships with a variety of people that we put in the work. But thank you, that's a great question. You try to trip us up a little bit. I appreciate that.
But there's also,
that.
You have that moment where you have the multiple songs and cuts around time, right? And that's such a beautiful sequence to me, because I know all of those songs, but also this idea that, we as humans are obsessed with time, and time forces us to be shapeshifters, right? As we age, as we grow, as we change. And that, I feel like, is a really lovely metaphor for that in that piece.
Thank you. Hello? Did I? Oh, there you are. I think you touched me and my sister and brother very much when you talked about dreaming, that Grant Sr. dreamed, was able to dream himself into existence. Isn't that what you got? I don't think we discussed that before. He dreamed this institution into an existence it did not know it could have. And it's manifesting right here in your presence with us. This would not have happened 10 years ago, even. And that's why I really got in touch with my Jungian knowledge and sympathies, because it's what I work with a lot in reimagining, reshaping chemistry as an expression of artistic vision and practice. So I'll let that go.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Go.
To add on to that, sir, it's when we were thinking about Mr. Grant Sr., we're not thinking about him as someone that was stuck here.
Truly.
Right? We're really thinking about the dimensionality of his person, of his beingness. And I mean, just quite honestly, who does that? Who says, I'm going here? It's declarative realness, right? It's so powerful, and it's more than just what's happening cerebrally or like intellectually. It's a totally different type of intellect that the school is very fortunate to have be in their presence, from my point of view. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm the Venerable sister, and I just started to breathe. I think I held my breath for the entire performance. I was so stunned. And the way that it started in nature is something that Grant Venerable ingrained in the three of us so much. Nature, water. How real is that? Truth. And you spoke truth for this performance. And don't get me on a roll, because you know I can get on it. Thank you so much. It was so beautiful. And it truly, truly touched me.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing.
Right there. Thank you all for coming. And I hope that everyone felt something tonight and connected and came through the portal with us to someplace new and a new imagining about what is possible here at Caltech. And I hope that you'll join us on May 17th for the unveiling of Grant Venerable's portrait at the Venerable House. And there will be more on that in the coming weeks. So thanks again.
Thank you,
Drive
Jill.
safe.
Thanks to the whole tech squad here. Thank you so much. And thank you all. So before we leave, I'm going to give Jill the last word. I'm just going to ask you just to think about something that you're grateful for. Let it tickle your mind sky. Let it saturate your heart space. And on the count of three, we'll amplify that gratitude with the clap. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Done and done. Thank you.